Hey Facebook, Jamie Faye here, life and relationship coach, and I'm trying to see if I can share to my Facebook page from my phone. Okay, not sure how to do that. Next time I'll have to do it from my computer. So I'm super excited to make this video about ghosting. So when you come on, please say hey so I can give you a shout out. If you don't know me yet, what I do, I work with millennials. I'm a life and relationship coach, and I help people have more satisfied, happy lives by getting to know themselves better, getting to be able to communicate outwards authentically and have incredible relationship with themselves and with the people in their life. So this video is about ghosting. So what's up, replayers? Thanks for being here also. Please get involved as you're watching, whether live or on the replay. Hey Sari, thanks so much for saying hi. So what is ghosting? Most of you, if you're watching this video, you know what it is, but for those of you that don't know, it's pretty simple. Ghosting is when you or someone else disappears, when you have some kind of relationship with them. So it could just be dating, or even just talking via a dating app, or dating multiple times, even for months, etc., etc. But ghosting used to be a thing that only creepazoids would do, right? So in the past, 20, 10, 15 years ago even, it used to be something that, it wasn't called ghosting, but it would be something that someone who was really low would do. But now it's like a thing that so many people do. 50% of men and women say that they've been ghosted. And almost 50% say that they've ghosted people. So that is a lot of people. So this video is going to be short, to the point. I'm going to go through a couple of things, and I'm even going to give some tips on how to break this cycle. As a society, I think we need to do it. So, if you've been ghosted, feel free to say yes. Because if you've been ghosted, then you have probably felt like a fool, probably felt disrespected. A lot of people that have been ghosted feel this. It's like majorly researched. And the thing with social rejection is it can really hurt. And when you're ghosted, it feels like social rejection. You're not able to talk with the person about it. You're not able to ask questions or get any kind of closure. And what's interesting about this is that people often say it feels like a kick in the stomach, or a punch to the gut, or a punch in the face, which is interesting because social rejection, it exists in the same pathways in the brain that that physical pain lives. So it really can feel like that dramatic and that traumatic. And if you have somewhat low self-worth or self-esteem, then it can even feel worse. And the more times you experience being ghosted, the worse it gets. So, if you've been ghosted, I want to say though, this has nothing to do with you. It is proven. It has nothing to do with you. It is the fault of the other person not having that maturity, and that's a part of the society most of all, to directly talk with you and say that they don't want to continue this relationship. This also goes for friendships, but today I'm more focusing on the dating side of ghosting. So I encourage you, if you are get ghosted, laugh it off and commit to breaking the cycle, because as I said, almost 50% of people have been ghosted, but almost 50% of people have been ghosted. Almost 50% of people have ghosted someone. So we're all at fault, it seems, or you're all at fault, because I've never ghosted anyone. So I can't be part of that, but I can tell you that it's not cool, and it needs to stop. So if you've ghosted someone, if you've been ghosted, write yes. And if you've ghosted, write guilty. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I think it would be really cool. Or just take a moment to admit it to yourself. Yes, I've done that. And think about how it felt. Because if you've ghosted, there are lots of reasons for ghosting. People often are avoiding their own discomfort in coming forward, right? So you're avoiding saying what you think would make you uncomfortable, and not thinking about in the moment, hey Danny, not thinking about in the moment how the other person will feel when you ghost them. So you're really thinking about your own needs and saying, well, I'll be really uncomfortable if I have to tell him or her, you know, that I don't like her that much, or I don't like him that much, or, you know, the sex wasn't good, or like I just don't think they're funny or interesting enough, or whatever it is, which you don't have to say, which at the end of this video I'm going to talk about what you can say to be kind and compassionate, give a very real reason that you don't want to see someone again that they cannot argue with. I'm getting there, so stick around. So, if you've ghosted, there are reasons, which are, one, you're avoiding your own discomfort and not thinking about the other person's. Second is online dating takes away a lot of the consequences, right? Because of online dating, people aren't meeting in natural settings where they're being introduced through friends. So they don't have to worry about, right? Worry about like, oh, well, if I am obnoxious and I don't talk to this person, then their friend will know, and I'll come out like a jerk or a bitch or whatever. And I hear people talking a lot about this now when they do connect people. I hear people say things like, don't be an ass. I'm like, well, if you think they're going to be an ass, then why are you introducing them? Right? Like, or, don't ghost her or don't ghost him. Like, be real. Why do people have to say things like that? This is an epidemic. Okay, that's why I'm calling it an epidemic, because it is. So another reason would be that, there are no consequences. So that's the last reason. I wanted to tell a brief ghosting story of mine. This happened many years ago already, I think about 8 or 9 years ago. I was about 23 years old, living in Manhattan, finishing my degree at the new school. And I was dating a much older guy, about 30, 31. And we had been dating for, I don't know, even a couple of months. And a couple nights before this day that I'm talking about, we had an interaction and like wasn't really good. We didn't fight or anything, but we just didn't connect enough. We didn't have enough chemistry. Like there just wasn't that like intimate capability for us. Like it just wasn't there. And what happened is after that, because he was always the initiator, he was older, he was, more acting in the man, like, part of our relationship, I'm all about equality, but that's how it was right then in our relationship. And he, didn't call me after that. And I was like, this is so stupid. I don't want to see him either, but I'm going to call him. So I called him and he didn't answer and he didn't call me back, which obviously was not what usually would happen because we were dating. And then I called him again and finally called me back like 2 or 3 days after. He was like, hi, and he was really nervous. I was like, hi, how are you? And he was like, I'm okay, how are you? And I was like, look, I don't want to see you again either, but I just thought that we should kind of have this conversation, don't you think? And he's like, yeah, I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at confrontation. I'm like, well, good thing, for you that I'm not bad at confrontation. So it was nice knowing you. You're a nice person, and I don't want to see you anymore, and have a great, rest of your day. And he was like, okay, great, bye. Okay. So like for me, I got ghosted, but in that particular situation, I had the chance. He did call me back to talk with him and say like, well, I don't want to see you either. We don't have a connection that I'm looking for. So if you're here, say what's up. We're talking about ghosting. If you've been ghosted, right? Yes. If you've ghosted someone, right? Guilty, which is 50% of the people. So don't be embarrassed. Okay. There is a backlash with ghosting. Okay. People hate being ghosted. They just hate it. And mental health professionals even say that it's considered emotional cruelty. So why do you dislike it so much? Because it's really actually cruel. Because it leaves a human being out of the most important thing that they need, which is social human interaction. So you're really doing something that's considered cruel by mental health professionals. So that's another reason to stop doing it. There's no room for conversation. And when you ghost or you're ghosted, I believe that you're setting a precedent for every single relationship, especially romantic relationships that you have going forward. So if you're ghosting people and you think it's okay, or you don't think it's okay but you don't find another way, which I'm going to give an amazing way, like I said, to get out of dating someone in a kind way, clear, that they can't argue with. If you're, what was I saying? If you are ghosting someone, then you are setting a precedent for the fact that you don't believe in direct communication. You are putting it out there to people, to your friends, to, if you don't think this is going to come back to you, it's totally going to come back to you, that you don't believe in direct communication. And how does that feed and bleed into your relationships when you're dating someone longer, when you're in a committed relationship? I'll talk about that, in another video, but this goes deep into, problems with monogamy or problems with real lack of communication, not understanding one another, not feeling heard, not being able to voice your sexual needs, your intimacy needs, your division of labor when you're living together. All these things, political differences, you're not able to express them because you've set this precedent of non-communication. So I'm just planting that seed here. I hope that makes sense. Anyone who's out there, tell me, what do you think about this? What is your take on ghosting? Is it like something that just can't be avoided? Or in most cases it can be avoided, but sometimes, it has to be done. I would love to know your thoughts, because my perspective on this is that it shouldn't exist and that we need to make a change for all the reasons I already said. So, amazing. So I think that in order to break the cycle, we just have to break the cycle. You have to make a commitment to stop ghosting people. Now I'm going to go really all the way home and give you the way that over the years I have developed a really simple sentence and a variety of a sentence that I give to my clients when they want to discontinue seeing someone. Okay? You can change it a little bit, but it works really well. People love it and they usually feel really comfortable saying it, really authentic. And it doesn't give room for people to argue, because I think that a lot of time people with conversations, like I had this with a client today where she decided she doesn't want to see someone even before she's been out with him, but she had been telling him she couldn't. And then every time we talked about, well, what she would say, it was another opening for him to come back. So like she would say, well, I'm really busy right now. I can't date people who work like in my building. And he could say, well, I'm not going to work in the building in a month because he's just on a project. I was like, don't leave him anything to come back. If you definitely don't want to see him, you need to be straight up and say it in a way that he'll understand and he'll respect you for your directness. So the way to let go of a dating situation, I believe the best way is to say that this is not the kind of connection I'm looking for, or this is not the kind of connection I'm looking for right now, or I don't feel like we have the connection that I'm looking for. No one can argue with that. So who likes that? I would love to hear if you think that would work. The reaction that I get to my clients when they give them lots of options of things they could say is that they love that they really connect to that. Like the word connection, it's one of my favorites. And they feel like it's truthful and it's kind. Hey, Talia. And that they can really relate to it and it won't give the person a lot of argument, because if someone argues with that, you don't have to respond to them. These are your feelings. This is your perspective. You have 100% right to your feelings, and that's being incredibly direct and kind by telling them the truth. And telling someone, look, I don't think we have the kind of connection I'm looking for, is pretty honest and kind. So I would love to hear, Talia, what do you think of that way of telling someone that you are not interested in seeing them anymore? Not you, Talia, specifically, but maybe some of your friends. Because Talia's married. But anyone else. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, please let me know. If you think it was valuable, then please share it with your friends in a private message or on your... Exactly. You're doing, Talia said, you're doing both of you a favor. Exactly. By being honest and kind, not disappearing, but also in the way that you say it, not saying, I just don't think we have a future. Like people are like, but what future? We've only been dating for a month. That's too big. It's too general. Say, this is not the kind of connection I'm looking for. I don't feel a connection. It's not enough because someone will say, well, I feel a connection. This isn't the connection I'm looking for. So yeah, I just find that really empowering, and every one of my clients that's heard that has adopted that as their way of saying goodbye to a relationship, in the early stages, of course. So thanks for being here. If you like this video, you can click the heart and share it. You can also sign up for a free discovery call in relationship coaching or life coaching. I would love to talk with you. Talia wrote, you maintain your integrity and model the kind of communication that you strive to have. It's kind of like leveling up. Exactly. So Talia, before we were talking all about this, about how ghosting sets the stage for not leveling up, for not having direct communication in all of your upcoming relationships, especially in the relationship with this person, by having that idea that you might ghost them, by allowing that to be even an option for you, is not preparing you for direct adult communication. So, thank you for saying that. Thanks so much, guys. Hope to see you soon. Join me, and on my next video, have an awesome Monday and an awesome week. Bye.